If you ever see an ad promoting the Church of Sleepless Truth, turn around and get as far away from it as possible. It's too late for me, but if you haven't signed up, you still have a chance. My name is John Sanders. I had recently gotten out of an abusive relationship when I stumbled upon a poster advertising some kind of support group for people who went through traumatic incidents. In retrospect, perhaps the name should have tipped me off, but at the time, I just needed to talk to anyone who could understand what I'd gone through. I signed up. I arrived there at 6 a.m. sharp next Saturday and met with the rest of the group. I'm quite a shy person, so I decided to wait for everyone else to speak. The first person to speak was Carla, a dark-skinned woman in her early 20s with a shy smile on her face.
Yeah, my family is
She
super
talked about
religious.
her relationship with her
I thought I was
religious
a demon.
family, who stabbed her
Stabbed me
with
with
knives, believing she was
I was
possessed by a
distraught.
demon. Jesus, is that what support groups were like? The next person, Sharon, shared about her encounter
Hello,
with an
everyone.
old gypsy woman who
Yeah.
placed a curse on her
So I
and
gotta
plagued
tell
her
you, I
sleep
was
with nightmares.
Cursed by a gypsy woman.
Everyone who spoke shared
she
horrifying
plagues me
stories,
every night.
each worse than the
with
last,
nightmares.
until it was my turn. At this point, I was feeling kind of embarrassed. Compared to them, I haven't suffered at all. So I spoke. I told them about my relationship with Alex and how she cheated and then turned the blame back on me. It was my fault for not being good enough, for not listening to her when she was upset. She made me feel like a bad boyfriend and that she deserved better. When the session concluded, everyone got up and headed out the door. When I stood up, however, one of the members, Darren was his name, I think, walked up to me and whispered,
That was a nice story, John, but you need to try making it a little more plausible or you won't survive a month in here.
I was confused. Was he accusing me of lying? But before I could ask what he meant, he left. The next day, I decided to cut things off with Alex. Yesterday's events made me realize that I wasn't the problem. She was. She screamed and cursed at me, but I was unwavering. I never saw her again. The next week, I went back to the Church of the Sleepless Truth. Once again, I waited for everyone to share before I spoke. Weirdly enough, the stories they told were different. Carla was now turning into a vampire. I haven't told anyone. It's probably why my parents thought I was some kind of demon, but turns out I'm a vampire and I lust for blood. And Sharon's husband was secretly a serial killer.
Hey everyone, my story is just the best yet. I knew my husband was up to something, and guess what? I found out that he is a serial killer.
When it was my turn to speak, I didn't know what to say. Alex and I broke up, so everything's fine now. I feel better than I have in a long time. They stared at me as if waiting for me to say more. But then she came back when I was asleep and kidnapped me. When I woke up, I was tied up in her basement. I wrote her story about how she was a crazy yander who could not bear to be without me and how I tricked her into letting me go. When I was finally done with the story, the session was over and everyone left. Only later I realized that Darren was missing from the last session. Then I recognized him as a victim of a murder on the front page of the newspaper. He was murdered in his own home, found with carved out letters on his chest. OOC. I then understood what they wanted me to do. Play along or die. It has been months since I first joined and I'm running out of ideas for new stories. anyone who leaves simply dies the next day. So that's out of the question. It's too late for me. So I'm typing this out to warn anyone who will listen. Stay away from the church. And remember, they're always watching. Good evening, everyone. I am Madam of the Night, and I hope you enjoyed tonight's story. Well, it looks like John got into some rough stuff. And I guess maybe if some of you out there who are listening, you can give him some ideas for his little rendezvous at the Sleepless Truth. You never know what you may run into, and it looks like John is running out of time. If you enjoy my channel, please subscribe, like, and hit that bell icon so you can receive notifications of my postings every week. And I will see you ghouls soon. You never know what goes bump in the night.